I've always hated clumpy protein shakes. I've had different types of bottles, the kind here with the ball, other types with like the mesh top, but I never could quite shake the shake just right. So here's a tip that will give you perfectly smooth protein shakes going forward. So I'm going to start off putting this in, right? Put your protein in. So I'm fixing to introduce a thought exercise. I want you to imagine the clumps as cans of Coke and the fine powder as the Coke itself. So if this can of Coke is actually a clump and all the soda on the inside is the fine particle mist that we actually want to drink, would we want to put it in a box that is pretty small and try to shake it as hard as we can? And the only reason I'm using a small box is because you could really imagine a large box with a lot of cans versus a large box with fewer cans. Each Coke can would have a relative space of one can being inside of a small box. Now I can try to shake this box as hard as I can with one hard thrust, as hard as I can, right? Ready? Nothing happens. I'm sure if I cracked it open, it would spew everywhere, but it doesn't bust. Now I want you to imagine the same exercise, but now I'm throwing it from a high distance, which represents empty space. Which do you think is more likely to bust? Right? The one coming from a high distance. Because the greater distance traveled allows it to splat against the wall. That's why you want your glass to only be partially filled. So you have that empty void, and that creates a space to allow something like this to happen. Thus, this Coke can is our clump. With that being said, so one of the things that most people do is they go ahead and fill this to the top. What I'm going to tell you to do is only fill it halfway. All right? And instead of shaking vigorously for like a minute, just end up with a clumpy shake. We're going to shake pretty hard. We'll fill it the rest of the way. And as we can see, we have a clump-free drink. So if this helped you, or you already knew it, hit like. If you have a better way, comment. Please subscribe.